It's time for Pure Performance.
Get your stopwatches ready. It's time for Pure Performance with Andy Grabner and Brian Wilson.
Welcome everyone to another Pure Performance podcast. As you can probably tell, it's one of those rare moments where the opening voice is not Brian Wilson, who typically starts our podcast, but it's Andy Grabner. Brian is hopefully taking a day off today because as the time of the recording, there's a US holiday, and I hope he will enjoy it. Also, it's early morning here in Europe, and I assume, Brian, you're fast asleep, but thank you for putting out this episode. Now, this episode today, very dear to my heart, because I gotta say, over the last 2 to 3 months, I made a couple of new friends, and I want to call them friends because I was very fortunate enough to be invited to speak at a conference in Prague in the Czech Republic, and there I met our guest today. And before I let him introduce himself, I just want to make sure that folks, I want to make sure that you are knowing who we are dealing with today. So Marian Kamenistak, I hope I got this name kind of correctly, but it's, if you read from the LinkedIn profile, Building the Silicon Valley in Central Europe, what a great tagline to have. Building the Silicon Valley in Central Europe, founder and chief coach at Engineering Leaders Community out of the Czech Republic. Marian, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, as I said, for not just being, let's say, a business partner, but really a friend. I'm really glad how we kicked it off and how we connected. But now, please, Marian, introduce yourself because I'm sure there's much more to tell than the 2 taglines from LinkedIn.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you again, Andy, for having me here. So basically, our mission and the mission of our community is to create a Silicon Valley leadership in Central Europe. And it's not just a mission or just an empty sentence. The way how we do it is exactly as Andy has mentioned. We met in May this year at Engineering Leaders Conference in Prague. And it was really astonishing with more than 400 people, of attendees and participants, and the venue and the lineup was really excellent. So thank you again, Andy, for you having a clear spot regarding your speaking sequence, and I really enjoyed it very much. What we do basically is in the heart of Central Europe, we are building our community of engineering and product leaders. These days, we have more than 1,500 people who are our unique physical members. It's nothing like virtual and so on and so forth. On top of that, we are basically making and hosting 1 meetup per month. And the meetups are really high quality. You can check it at engineeringleaders.io, basically. And that's roughly it, because other than that, we do plenty of, our own conferences. We mentioned the academy and learning. We partner with the local university and created an MBA program basically for leadership in IT. And other than that, I focused mainly on mentoring, fractional advisory, and I'm basically part of some board advisory organs in a couple of companies here in Central Europe. So that's basically it. Needless to say, me, myself, in my heart, I'm still a developer. Mm-hmm. I used to have that keyboard of ZX Spectrum at age 11, and I was playing with that since ever, and it's still deep in my mind. Nevertheless, these days, if somebody would ask me to do a code review after my pull request, then I would just hide myself in a corner because that's not something that I'm proficient at these days, right? Yeah. So that's basically the overview. And again, thank you, Andy, for having me here.
Yeah, I gotta say one more word to the conference. What I really enjoyed is that, first of all, you had your main track then you had your workshops, but I really thought it was what I've never seen before. You had your mentorship sessions. Can you quickly explain? Because I think whoever, folks, if you're listening in, if you're organizing events, I thought, I've never seen this before, where people could sign up for mentorship sessions. Can you quickly elaborate on that?
So basically the point was to create some sort of a different experience as a standard conference of sitting on your back, you know what I mean? And it's not only the high quality workshops, but also the one-on-one mentoring sessions where, as I was saying, I already have a portfolio of highly experienced people around me who are helping me mentoring specific people, not only regarding the engineering leadership, but also about the product management, biometrics, finance, data, AI, whatever comes to your mind. And basically, I invited my folks and my partners basically to take part of the conference so that people can have an experience of how it feels having a private mentor, helping you resolve the questions right on the spot. And that is one thing that I want to basically highlight, which is the difference between mentoring and coaching, although I don't make such a huge difference between the two. But basically, you know how it goes. If somebody's going to be coaching you, then basically you might want to end up having your question answered after 6 sessions. Yeah. While mentoring is like, hey, Marian, this is the problem I have. This is the situation. I'm going to ask you more of the questions, and we are going to come up with certain solutions, and you are going to commit to one of the basically steps to move forward. And that's basically the pace that I want to keep up with people. And that's the very same reason to why we made it part of our conference, to make sure that people gain some sort of a taste of how it feels to have some sort of a, you know, I would say a partner or a buddy next to you, helping you resolve your situations and making you grow exponentially.
Yeah, it feels almost like, if you think back to both of our passions, which is software engineering, I also have a software engineering background, still love it. It's like you constantly have the opportunity to do some pair programming with somebody. So you have a buddy next to you, right? Yeah. That can challenge you, that can validate your things, where you can learn from. I think that's awesome. No, I really love it. Folks, also all of the resources we talk about, the Engineering Leaders Conference, the Engineering Leaders Community from Prague that Marian built, the links will be in the description of this episode. Marian, there's another thing that I really liked, and hopefully I remember the tagline correctly. I think on your T-shirts that you had, it was something like leaders worth following. There was like a really nice tagline. Maybe I'm not phrasing it correctly word by word, but it was really interesting to see that you really put a lot of effort on leadership, but not leader as somebody that tells you exactly what to do, but leaders worth following, that inspire people, right? That have, and I was just fascinated, as I said, and I was so lucky.
Yeah. And you have the exact wording, so thank you for keeping that in your mind. Basically, what I mean by that is, if I may be very open with you, in Europe and mainly in Central Europe, I see certain, I would say, differences because, I was keen to basically be part of some startups in Silicon Valley as well for a couple of years. And after coming back, I could see pretty significant differences in terms of the, I wouldn't call it management, leadership, and being a leader worth following. And that's something what stuck with me because I don't want to be a manager who just dictates. I want to be someone, again, worth following, worth remembering. And the reason why is basically, I'm going to say, I was a bastard. I was a bastard being an engineer, being a software developer, because what I was doing is I was just making sure I'm part of an environment that moves me forward, having the right people around me, having either that's technology and the leadership right after. But if I did not have a leader worth following in my space, or in my workspace, better to say, or we already depleted all the ammunition, and the potential, then I was just moving forwards to yet another environment and yet another one. And that's what made me strike. Of course, some people might call it like, it's a little bit of a bastard way, and sorry to use this word. I know it's sort of eccentric. Nevertheless, I think this is the right approach, and making sure that I can understand how it feels to have somebody around worth following, make me thinking about how about making myself worth following this way, making myself being a talent magnet, making myself being somebody who people can trust, and basically only then you can create valuable work and products. That's just I would say that's my opinion. As opposed to just saying like, we need to accomplish whatever, however that's called, sprints or roadmap or these sort of things. It doesn't work this way, right? So that is the difference, being worth following. And of course I can start talking monologues here, but I will leave that back to you, Andy, please.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. And I think your story is interesting because you said you were involved in the Silicon Valley, then you came back to Central Europe. Do you think that we in Central Europe, and I'm not just talking about the Czech Republic, we are also in Austria here, we are part of Central Europe. Do you think that the reason why we are also different is because of our experiences in the past and the way we grew up, the way our parents grew up and what they gave us back? Or why do you think we in Central Europe might be different than what you have seen in the Silicon Valley in the US?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I was putting quite a lot of emphasis to find the differences. And basically, of course, I see very specific, I call it situations or problems or differences in between the two. But nevertheless, we need to differentiate between, like, how could we put it, the post-communist countries versus Austria. Of course, that's yet another thing. Nevertheless, for example, the way how I run my workshops for engineering managers is that I'm telling them straight away I see two main differences. The first one is we are not great at having full ownership. Meaning, you can of course disagree with certain past strategies and so on and so forth. Nevertheless, after you splash out everything and you come to a commitment, you do whatever it comes to make sure that you accomplish your goal, your outcome, your roadmap, and whatever that could be represented by. So that is number one thing, as opposed to basically just complaining, you know what I mean? Or being some sort of a passive, in a passive aggressive mode. That doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to promote you because of that. Although it feels nice talking about, complaining throughout lunch. And the second thing, sorry for being so direct.
No, it's good.
And the second thing is what I found even more important and more crucial, and as a difference, is that we are not great at talking value and specifically talking money.
Yeah.
And I was there as well because I was a 3% top talent developer. I turned myself into a principal software architect in Silicon Valley and so on and so forth. And I thought that, talking whether RabbitMQ versus Apache MQ makes a difference. It does not, because nobody's going to listen to you. Having said that, if you are not able to talk money, nobody will hear you for the rest of your life, although you might have great and brilliant ideas in your mind. So that's something that I'm strictly focusing on in order to make sure that people can talk either return on investment or cost of delay, and making sure that they understand the different basically approaches, how to translate impact into money, because only then the CTO or the CFO of the organization will listen to you. And of course, there is a secret, I would say, thing that everybody knows, which is if you are splashing an idea out and you will not convince me in 30 seconds about like listening further, then basically I push myself into sort of a passive mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
there is no way you can succeed, right?
Yeah.
So that's my, I would say, two main differentiators. Of course, there are a couple of others, but full ownership and talking money, talking
Yeah.
business, it's the main two things. Or I was going to say incompetencies that we have and we need to work on.
Yeah. It's interesting. So a couple of thoughts that I had. First, coming back to the, you called it post-communist era, and obviously in Austria we have not been in that part
Yeah.
of Europe. But on the other side, you could also argue that with our past, maybe with the monarchy, where we're all, I think, still very
Nice.
comfortable,
Yeah.
and people have basically centrally telling us or making sure that most of us have it good, could also still trickle down after that many generations, right?
True. True.
Now, the other thing, coming back to your talking money and your 30 seconds, like an elevator pitch, right? I think people always talk about what is your elevator pitch? And I believe this is super important. And to translate this into something that is maybe more present and kind of like an analogy, you have a lot of choices when you open up your television app, like your Netflix or whatever you use,
Yeah.
your streaming app. But you're basically browsing through and you decide based on the first 10, 20, 30 seconds when you get these trailers, whether this is worth spending half an hour or an hour, right? And I really
Yeah.
like it. So I think we all need to figure out how can we pitch our value that we want to provide, the value of our technical solution, but what's the real value? Because I see the same thing as you, right? From a technical perspective, we're all very excited about how we can
Yeah.
optimize that line of code, how
Yeah.
cool that new technology is. But as you said, who cares if nobody looks into this because you couldn't translate the actual value, you couldn't
Precisely.
talk money,
And
right?
yeah. And I was, listen, Andy, I was part of that jihad.
Yeah. Okay.
Because me myself, I was like a Java man, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
this is my religion, and don't touch it,
yeah.
right? But only after exactly my experience in Bay Area, I found out that basically it's just a tooling. It's not a goal. It is just a tooling. And if you are not following, the goal, basically, then you get lost and I would say, even decrease your value. So that was a slap to me
Yeah.
to realize that the game is played somewhat differently.
Yeah.
So yeah, and still I see that, like, and exactly, you covered top two use cases regarding the talking money and talking value. The number one is to have something meaningful to say about your hypothesis, your elevator pitch towards your audience, towards your CTO or in the company. And the second thing that I see very often, and there are people coming back to me with that, is, hey Marian, please help me identify my value. Help me figure out what's my potential, what I'm worth, so that I don't leave money on the street.
Yeah. So that means so I mean basically taking this from
Yeah.
a technical product idea and then how you translate that into value from you yourself are the product, right? We all are
Absolutely.
our own products,
United.
right?
Yeah.
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 And then
I like the way how you put it. You yourself, you're the product. I
Yeah.
used to say when I'm mentoring and teaching people, I used to tell them, you are an asset, and it's upon you to either you invest into that asset or not, or if you undervalue that if you are undervaluing that asset because of your imposter syndrome or whatever that is.
Yeah.
This is something that I see very often.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to put it, but sometimes I see people that are waiting for a salary raise of 5% and hoping for that for another year. Or I'm telling them, okay, you can either wait for a salary raise or you can triple your value in half a year. So the choice is yours, basically. Wake up.
Yeah, I'm taking a lot of notes here because I want to make sure that some of these things
Okay.
they make it into the description, also picking out some taglines. So you can either wait for the 5% or you can start realizing what your value is and then selling it and then triple your value, right, within a year.
Yeah. That's really what I'm aiming for with basically my clients, and sometimes I explain it a bit differently, which is even to the companies, I'm telling them, how come you can expect someone building or generating value if these people that are on their own, they are not aware of their own value, if that makes sense,
Yeah. And actually,
right?
this reminds me, this whole tripling your value reminds me of your opening keynote at the conference
Mm.
from David Pavlik, who is the CTO at the Rolik Group. And in
Yeah.
his talk, I just put it up here. His talk was from growth to impact, how I scaled my personal value 10x.
Mm-hmm.
And like his stories and like how he went through all of the different big names in the software industry. I think from
Right.
Microsoft to Amazon to Netflix to SpaceX. It was fantastic in his story that he
Yeah,
told. Yeah.
yeah. So, and again, like, thank you for raising that up because that's one of the great examples of David, and that basically showcasing that it's not a theory. These stories are tangible, basically.
Hmm.
And again, either you, as you said, either you watch Netflix all night,
Yeah.
or you basically increase yourself as an asset, or you regard yourself as an asset and you invest into that. And of course, David's path is great. Nevertheless, let's be open. There is a lot of failures across that path, and of course, it might be like hundreds of different interviews until you get there. But you make sure that you increase and you follow your mission progressively towards your goal, right? So that's what we basically are building, and that's what I want to see, for example, with my clients. Yeah.
Yeah. Marian, I'm holding a book in my hand. It's called
Mm,
the Leadership Pipeline: Developing Leaders in the Digital Age. And this is a book that you gave to me
yeah.
as an appreciation for me speaking there. Is
Mm.
there a difference from a leadership perspective in the digital age than maybe in ages past or in other industries?
Well, yes and no.
Yeah.
uh, of course, the pace is getting like, sort of higher, and things are getting faster, moving forward. And me myself, I'm using quite a lot of things and tools, and mainly speaking the AI tools that are
Mhm.
around us, to make sure that we progress and we build value in a meaningful manner. While on the other hand, um, I'm deeply convinced that the personal touch, the leadership, and the physical presence
Mhm.
will always be here.
Mhm.
And listen me out. I think that these things, especially the physical touch and the personal presence, will even get increased in value.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because as we move forward towards some sort of a virtual world,
Yeah.
the physical presence will become an asset. And again, if you can translate my thoughts well, basically having a community is an asset as well,
Yeah.
and allowing people to meet is an asset as well. Coming back to the US, I challenge you to find a meaningful job as a developer if you have no positive reference, or no people around within your network who can help you to get some word of kindness towards yet another CTO or a person you are working with in another company.
Mhm.
Uh, in Europe, it's still sort of fine, but it's just a matter of time until we find out that uh, with no uh, valuable network of people around, you can never make it.
Yeah.
Although you will have plenty of AI tools around you, but I guarantee you these tools will be available for everyone. So
Yeah.
please wake up.
So that's
It's not
another.
that things are coming out of the box, and like maybe 15 or 10 years ago, and it was my case. It was just fine to be smart. You know what I mean? I'm not like super smart, of course,
Mhm.
but these days being smart is not enough.
Wow.
And in the
That's
future, being smart will just make you average.
wow.
So that's my vision basically. It might sound scary.
Mm.
I would not say so. We just need to get ready for it.
Yeah. So that's wow, that's some very interesting ways of thinking of it, but it makes a lot of sense, right? Because as you said, the AI, what sets us apart as human is being human. What
Yeah.
sets us apart from the AI is that we make the effort to build and nurture our communities and our network.
Mm.
Uh, Also, people trust people because there's a trust that has to be also trust has to be earned, and this is where you
Yeah.
need the investment, and it's time that you need to invest, and time is the one thing, right, that we
Mm.
cannot buy. So we need
Mm.
to choose wisely where we spend the time and with which communities. I
Yeah.
think that that's also very
Yeah,
important.
exactly. Like either you spend time watching Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And sorry for putting this example too
Yeah.
often, up. But yeah, that's basically it. And again, I remember one CTO here in Central Europe that I'm mentoring. He was asking me the question like, hey Marian, what is the one single thing that you would want to change? Going 10 years back.
Mhm.
And I was thinking about like, okay, so what should I answer? Like, the systems, the methodologies, the AI, of course, whatever that is. And then it just came to my mind, which is the one thing that I would change if being smarter 10 years back is to build relationships much, much sooner
Also, mhm.
because it creates a valuable network of people around you who can help who can help you move forward or resolve your situations or basically have some, I would say, strong background,
Mm.
natural background, as opposed to, yeah, I'm the smartest person in the world. I can develop code, quite fast in high quality, whatever that is, but still sitting in my corner, and nobody basically gives a damn about me,
Yeah.
right? And especially again, 21st century. Hey, welcome, wake up. If
Mhm.
you have no some sort of social footprint on the virtual media or the social network, then
Mhm.
basically your profile and your value goes down.
Yeah.
So if you are so smart, how about you basically showcase that and at least one or two meetups or some podcasts or even a conference, uh, yeah, let's say at least twice a year or something.
Mhm.
Because you can say or you can argue, yeah, I'm the smartest person in the room, but let me tell you something. I will not promote you as a CTO in my company if you are not visible enough because you're not a talent magnet. Actually, for me, you are an anti-pattern. And again,
Yeah.
sorry for my
No,
controversy here,
that's perfect. Yeah.
because I want to see people who create a multiplication effect, not some sort of I'm the person in the room, guy, or in the corner, basically, better to say, right?
Yeah.
So that basically damages my company's culture, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
You might be great senior developer, but I will never promote you to a principal, architect, or staff person if you have no basically network around you that you built.
Yeah. And that comes back to the point that you made earlier. I think, first of all, I want to say it's
Yeah,
perfectly fine if people want to stay in their position where they are and they
absolutely.
don't want to grow,
Yeah,
right? Then that's fine. What we are talking about here is why are some people complaining about that they're not making a way up, right? Why, as you said, waiting for the 5% raise for a year while
yeah.
others seem to jump ahead
Hmm.
and triple their value in the same amount of time. And I think this is was really interesting when it comes to communities. Obviously, you build your community
Yeah.
in Prague. I'm working a lot with the CNCF, the Cloud Native Computing
Mm.
Foundation. Right, it's a huge
Mm.
community that lives through people giving back to the community, not just consuming, but as you said, speaking at meetups, running local
Yeah,
chapters of the CNCF,
yeah.
then speaking on stage. And if you speak on stage, you are doing you're doing multiple things. You're helping the community as a whole to lift up because you're
Mm.
sharing your experience, but also you lift yourself up and coming back to you're an asset, you're a product, and you're basically increasing the value because so many more people will know you, will trust you.
Yeah,
And this in the end, it seems like a snowball effect in the end once you get started.
absolutely. Yeah,
But
yeah,
you also need to keep going, right? It's not just
yeah,
like speak once and that's it, but you need to
yeah.
continuously give back to the community.
It's a continuous effort, but I would say it's worth it. And let me cover a couple of points coming to my mind. The number one is that sometimes, and I was there myself, people think like you need to be, again, super smart to make this work. You don't. I'm not smart myself, or super smart myself. I'm not even smart these days. I'm 46 years old. I'm just experienced. That's how I used to put it. And the second thing is that it doesn't require a super large amount of effort, right? You just visit, or you are part of a network or meetups that you choose. You create the bonds. You start talking with people. You start proposing certain, I would say, topics. And all in the sudden, you might want to get an opportunity to be on the stage for, let's say, 10 minutes with a couple of other speakers. And that's a good start. That's a great start, right? And I'm really seeking, as a founder of the community, to find these high potential people who have something meaningful to share. Because I'm more than glad to invite them, because that's part of the, I would say, mission of providing a high quality content. So if you are capable to speak up and have a high quality and meaningful subject to talk about, some sort of experience, no theory, no bullshit, then let's do it, please.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not difficult. That's my message. And I thought myself, like, being 20, 25 years old, I thought, like, this has to be like amazingly difficult to get myself somewhere on the stage. It's not.
Yeah.
Just open your mouth.
Yeah. The only difficult thing is the first step, right? The first step is the difficult thing, because as you said, some people are afraid that when they are on stage, they will not be good enough. But I always tell people, if you're really telling your own story, it's your story, and that's your experience, and you are telling it from your perspective. And so even though there might be people in the audience that have a different opinion on that topic, that's perfectly fine. You're still, as long as you stay true to what you're saying, then it's a value to the community, because you are going to give them a different perspective on something that you've experienced yourself.
Precisely that. Yeah. So I would rephrase it in a different manner, which is, you should avoid having some sort of imposter syndrome or, fear of missing out because of your, I would say, worry about how am I going to look and speak and whatever that is. Just make it work. I remember myself when I was writing my first blog post, when I was having a first speech. Yes, I was trembling, I was sweating. It was very highly uncomfortable. I think, Andy, you know how it feels, because you went through that and you go through that quite often. Nevertheless, these are experiences that moves you forward, and either you, and again, sorry for my jargon, either you shit yourself, and you say, okay, could be better, and I will work on that. Right? You remember the conference you were in Prague? I was trembling in front of 400 people having a keynote, and shaking. Nevertheless, we made it. We made it through. Then there was an amazing number of people and speakers with high value content, and people were extremely happy about it. I know that for next year, I need to still improve certain aspects. Nevertheless, that's how it works.
Yeah, but you made the big step.
Perfection kills, basically.
But you made the big step in putting yourself into an uncomfortable situation, which is something where you learn the most, right? I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah, and I like talking to people and to my mentees. Basically, yes, sometimes I'm wearing a diaper. You know what I mean? Symbolically.
No, that's
because that's what it is, right? So and you wake up next day, you know how to make it work for the future, and you move on, right? And of course, there are like the good. I would say it's a positive thing, because statistically speaking, that there is 90% of people, especially here in Central Europe, who are, and again, apologies for my jargon, shitting their pants in their corner, watching Netflix, right? And if you do some sort of little step ahead, statistically speaking, you are already a winner.
Yeah,
So
that's very, very true. And obviously it's great to have. So folks, if you are from, Central Europe, if you are from the Prague region, you have a great community, the engineering leaders community in Prague. How long have you been doing this now?
it's 4 years, and
4 years.
it's not a small thing because we started it throughout COVID
Yeah.
as virtual sessions after me coming back to Prague, and then we run it public when it was possible to do so. So and now like it's not only Marian, it's Amy helping me with everything full time and so on and so forth. So it's already a movement. It's a body. It's not a single person. And the funny thing is that we tend to basically scratch my face out of it, so that it's not only Marian being part of of the community and the founder as such, because there is so many people around who are helping us with that. And they really do deserve their spot and our full respect.
Yeah. And I'm just looking at your events calendar of your community. You really meet in person. I think that's very important now. You meet in person. I was there after the conference a couple of weeks later. I came back to the Meetups 26 Platform Engineering in the Wild. I remember that it was really great. And since then, you had From Busy to Better, Make Space for Learning While Delivering. And the upcoming one is actually later this week, as the time of the recording. Show me the ROI, selling engineering ideas without the bullshit. It's fantastic, folks.
So as you can see, these topics are like sort of touching.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
because these are the things that we want to run through. And the good thing is that because of the fact that I'm mentoring like 16 people in parallel, I know very well what their pain points are and what are the subjects that are actually pretty attractive to open and to cover. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Marian, kind of trying to find a closing here and also a little bit of a recap. I really, first of all, thank you so much for making the time. I know you've busy days, and it's great that you take an hour out of your day. I'm really fortunate that you, back in the days, you actually approached me to say, Andy, do you want to join our community? Do you want to present? I'm so thankful that you A, did, and B, I'm also very happy that I accepted back then and that I made it back to Prague for the meetup. Thank you so much. I also like that what you said about we as engineers, right? First of all, if you're extremely smart alone does not differentiate you anymore. I think that's a very important topic. What differentiates us if we start building these connections, if we start going out of our comfort zone, if we are contributing back to the community, if we build a network, if we surround us with people that can actually lift us up and that eventually we can then lift up. I think this is super important. And this is where when you do this, you're moving away from sitting and waiting for the next race versus you will be lifted up and your value will be recognized and will be appreciated. And I think that's just really, really great lessons learned. Yeah.
Amen to that. Consider yourself as an asset.
Yeah.
And invest into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you, Andy, for having me. It was my pleasure. And I think next time when I see you in Prague again, I think it's beer time as well. So
yeah, or whenever. I know I've learned. I mean, this is for me the funniest story of all, because you told me, because I asked you, how did you actually find me? Why do you find a guy from Linz? And you said you are driving, when you go skiing, you drive through Linz and you saw the Dynatrace office next to the Autobahn. And that kind of
that's
then
true.
one together. This was awesome.
Yeah. So that's a true story. And the best friendships come out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I appreciate it very much, Andy. So thank you again for having me, and I look forward to meet you and all the other partners and members of our community and the conference. Looking forward to see you.
Thank you so much, folks. Hopefully this was another insightful episode. I know Brian Wilson couldn't be here with us today. Nevertheless, thanks for listening. Give us feedback. Check out all the links in the description of this podcast. Leave a comment. We're also posting this on LinkedIn and on other social networks. And remember, step out of your comfort zone. try to get on stage, tell your story, build a network. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.